Hey, what's up, Angels fans? And welcome back to another episode of Angels Latest. It's the show where we ride the highs, survive the lows, and somehow we keep coming back for more Halos baseball. We're always a little passionate, a little frustration, and a little blind optimism. We absolutely refuse to let go of a whole lot of love we have for this team in Anaheim. And listen, the offseason is doing what it always does, throwing curveballs at our sanity and making us overanalyze every rumor and turning all of us into part-time insiders on social media. I mean, we're seeing free agents sitting out there. The trade chatter is heating up as the winter meetings have started. And that one move, we're all hoping the Angels finally pull the trigger. Yeah, we all feel that. But that's why we're here. We're here to break it all down, keep it real, and have a little fun while we wait for the front office to do something. So welcome aboard, Angels fans. And if you're new to the show, again, welcome. I'm Anthony, and this is where honesty meets hope, where analysis meets fandom, and where every day is a good day to talk Angels baseball. So kick back, grab your drink, your snack, whatever gets you through the off season and gets you through the show. And let's jump right into it, okay? All right, Angels fans, big breaking news into our first big topic of the show because the Halos made a move in the winter meetings already. And this one is really interesting. The Los Angeles Angels have acquired infielder Vaughn Grissom from the Boston Red Sox, and they exchanged him for a minor league outfielder, Isaiah Jackson, who was the Angels' number 25 prospect and the 8th round pick out of Arizona State. And really on the surface, it really doesn't look much, it looks simple, a low-key trade. But when you really dig into it, there's a lot going on. So Grissom is a 24-year-old infielder who was once a top 100 prospect in the Atlanta Braves organization. He's athletic, he's versatile, and he can play second base, shortstop, and third base, and even a little bit of outfield. He broke into the big leagues early with the Braves, really showed flashes, and then got traded to Boston in the big Chris Sale deal. And to be honest, his time in Boston never really got off the ground. Now in 2024 with the Red Sox, he played 31 games and hit just 190 and no home runs and just 6 runs batted in. And I know that looks ugly, no way around it. But here's one thing. Grissom was dealing with a hamstring strain, an illness, and he was just never able to settle in. He also went into the season with a no minor league options left. So the Red Sox couldn't send him down without exposing him to waivers. And because of that, well, he ended up getting stuck. And here's where it really gets interesting. When you look at the advanced numbers, the story really changes. StatCast shows his expected batting average was around 245 and not 190. His expected weighted on base average came in near 288 compared to his actual 213. I mean, that's a massive gap. That's basically StatCast screaming, dude, this guy was way better than the results showed. His average exit velocity was 86 miles per hour. I mean, his hard hit rate was around 33% and his barrel rate around 5%. Not elite, but not disastrous either. And his strikeout rate, right around 19 to 21%, or 100 plate appearances, which is solid. And his walk rate actually improved in Boston. It was up from around 3 per 100 plate appearances early in his career to about 6 per 100 plate appearances in 2024. I mean, that tells you he's maturing. He's seeing the ball better and he's controlling the zone. And here's the part Angels fans should really pay attention to. Now in AAA across multiple seasons, Vaughn Grissom, he was a legitimate on-base machine. I mean, look at these numbers. 2023, AAA, 330 average, 419 on-base percentage, 501 slugging percentage, 8 home runs, 13 stolen bases. In 2024 AAA, 259 average, 385 on-base percentage, 6 home runs, 10 stolen bases. And in 2025 in AAA, 270 average, 342 on-base percentage, 13 home runs, and 9 stolen bases. I mean, that's real production. This is not fake hype. Those are big league indicators. So Boston needed a 40-man roster spot, just plain and simple, and they were blocked in the infield. Grissom had no options left, and they chose flexibility over upside. But for the Angels, well, that's exactly where a smart front office comes in. Let's talk about why I really like this move for the Angels. First off, the Angels need controllable young infield talent. I mean, they need depth. They need upside. And Grisham checks all 3 boxes. And second, he's only 24 years old. He's nowhere near a finished product. And third, he's athletic enough to stick in the middle infield. He's got a league average sprint speed around 27.4 feet per second. I mean, this is plenty to handle at second base. And fourth, and maybe the most important, this kid needs a change of scenery. Boston was pressure, expectations, injuries, role confusion. It was just never clicking for him. And now he lands in SoCal, where the environment is calmer, the expectations are lower, the ballpark is friendly to line drive hitters, and he's finally going to get something he's needed for 2 years: consistent playing time. Angel Stadium is perfect for his swing. He's a line drive, gap-to-gap hitter. Angel Stadium has big alleys. The marine layer knocks down the deep flyouts that hurt low launch hitters. This is the kind of park where a player like Grissom can hit 270 and pepper doubles all season long. So what do we make of this move? Well, the Angels basically gave up a project outfielder with tools in Isaiah Jackson, for a former top prospect who still has real upside. He's only 24, has strong AAA production, solid plate skills, and advanced metrics that say he was much better than his results. And that Angels fan is what I call smart upswing. Low risk, high reward, and a very real chance this kid becomes your everyday second baseman, or at least a super utility weapon for the next 4 to 5 years. Now, if he gets consistent at bats, well, if he stays healthy, well, if he walks, if the walk gains stick, well, I'm telling you right now, Vaughn Grissom could absolutely be one of those "why didn't anyone else trade for him" stories by midseason. And so, that's everything on the Vaughn Grissom trade. And let me know what you think. What is the right move? Are you buying the upside, or do you see it just as another depth add? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear and talk about it. All right, Angels fans, let's move on to our second big topic of today, because there's a name sitting out there in free agency that a lot of people are not talking about, but maybe they should. And that name is, drumroll, Tony Gonsolin. That's right, former Dodgers All-Star, World Series contributor, SoCal native, multi-pitch assassin, and now an unsigned comeback candidate on the open market. I know we talked about Buehler and May, and so the question about Gonsolin is simple. Should the Angels go get him? And let's break it down. Tony Gonsolin, age 30, won for the 26th season, born in Vacaville, California. 6'3", 205 pounds, right-hander, and originally a 9th round pick by the Dodgers back in 2016. He was a two-way player in college at St. Mary's, and he pitched and he hit, which tells you everything you need to know about the guy's athleticism and his versatility. He made his MLB debut in 2019, and for a few years when he was healthy, he was one of the most effective pitchers in the entire Dodgers organization. And yes, this dude has real credentials. just not a fly-by-night kind of guy. He's a one-time Major League Baseball All-Star in 2022. The year he went 16-1 with a 2.14 earned run average and 119 strikeouts. He was legitimately one of the best pitchers in baseball that season. Now, career-wise, he owns a 37-13 record, a 3.34 run ERA, a 1.08 WHIP, and over 380 strikeouts in more than 400 innings pitched. Again, that's not a fluke resume. That is a guy who knows how to pitch. Let's talk about what he throws, because this is where Gonsolin becomes really fun from a pitching nerd perspective. He has a four-seam fastball, 91 to 94 miles per hour. I mean, it's not overpowering, but he does use it smartly. He elevates it, gets weak contact, and uses it to set up all of his off-speed pitches. Secondly, he has a splitter, which is his signature pitch. This is the real weapon. I mean, it is nasty. It drops off the table, induces whiffs, and works against both lefties and righties. In fact, it's one of the better splitters in the league when it's on target. Third, the curveball, mid-70s, a lot of spin. One of the Dodgers' best rated curveballs in their developmental system. Super slow, super vertical, a great change of pace, and a nightmare for timing. He also has the slider, an 84 to 88 mile per hour slider, used mostly for horizontal change and sequencing. Not his best pitch, but it keeps hitters honest. Now, overall, he wins with mix, deception, sequencing, and command, not just pure velocity. And with that profile, it ages extremely well, even after elbow surgeries. Now, we've got to talk about the injuries because, I mean, hey, they matter, right? 2023, an ankle injury in spring training, then inconsistency. Then a brutal outing where he gave up 10 earned runs and 5 home runs. And shortly after that, right forearm inflammation. I mean, that eventually turned into, yes, Tommy John surgery. 2024, he didn't pitch in Major League Baseball at all, just 3 rehab outings late in the year. 2025, came back, made 7 starts, and posted a 5.00 ERA with a 1.42 WHIP. Then more elbow discomfort, another surgery, this time an internal brace and flexor repair. And by November, the Dodgers designated him for assignment. I mean, he cleared the waivers, and now he's a free agent. And that's the red flag section. But that's also where opportunity lives. When Gonsolin is healthy, he's a legitimate number 3 starter with flashes of number 2 starter ability. He understands sequencing. He understands deception. He limits hard contact. And his arsenal is diverse enough that he doesn't really rely solely on velocity, which is a huge advantage for pitchers coming off surgeries. I mean, he also is only 31 years old. He isn't a guy in his late 30s trying to hold on. This is someone who still has multiple seasons in front of him if his arm checks out medically. All right, now let's talk about why the Angels specifically are a strong landing spot for Tony Gonsolin. First, Angel Stadium is ideal for his pitching style. He's a soft contact fly ball suppressor with a vertical arsenal. I mean, Angel Stadium's deep alleys and marine layer help pitchers like him. 2, he's already comfortable in SoCal. There's no transition period, no lifestyle adjustment, no new region to adapt to. He's pitched here his entire career. Number 3, the Angels need veteran stability. I mean, this rotation has been young, inconsistent, and injury-prone. Gonsolin brings postseason experience, leadership, and professionalism. And 4th, his pitch mix complements the rest of the staff. Gonsolin brings a splitter-first approach that diversifies the staff. And 5, low risk, medium to high reward. He's not going to cost $20 million per year. I mean, he's a classic prove-it contract guy with real upside. And because his market is depressed due to injuries, here's what the Angels could realistically land for him. Option 1, the Prove It deal. 1 year, $4.5 million with incentives up to $8 million. Option 2, the Angels' favorite structure, 1 plus 1. 1 year, $5 million, a $9 million club option for 2027. $1 million buyout. Option 3, the 2-year stability contract. 2 years, $12 million guaranteed with incentives pushing it to $18 million. Option 4, it's the long shot minor league contract. It's the minor league deal, $3.5 million salary when in MLB plus incentives. So most likely, I think option 1 or option 2. Huge upside, low risk. I mean, the team controls if he rebounds. So my final verdict is, should the Angels sign him? Yes. Yes, and more yes. For where the Angels are right now, repositioning, reshaping, rebuilding quietly, Gonsolin is exactly the pitcher you want. The upside is mid-rotation starter with an elite splitter and a track record of excellence. Now, here's the downside. Well, a few $1 million. A low-risk gamble on a pitcher with real pedigree. This is the definition of value signing. It's the definition of smart off-season move. And if the medicals look good, excuse me, I'm telling you, Gonsolin could absolutely be one of the Halo's best signings of 2026. All right, Angels fans, what do you think? Are you buying Gonsolin as a bounce back candidate? I mean, are you rolling the dice on a former All-Star? Should the Angels pull the trigger on him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I want to hear about it, and let's talk about it. All right, Angels fans, for our third topic today, we've got to talk about the man now steering the ship in Anaheim, and that's new Angels manager Kurt Suzuki. And if you saw the headlines this week, you already know Suzuki had a message for Mike Trout. And honestly, I say a whole lot about what this new era might look like. So first, let's get something straight. Kurt Suzuki may not have any professional coaching or managerial experience, but he has something the Angels desperately need. Credibility, respect, leadership. I mean, this guy spent 16 years in the big leagues, caught elite pitchers, won a championship, and built a reputation as one of the best clubhouse dudes in the sport. And he's also a former Angel. He knows the culture, and the players around the league love him. And so this hiring isn't about analytics or innovation or systems. It's really about stabilizing a clubhouse that has been through more managers in 5 years than some teams in 20. So here's the message he sent to Mike Trout. So let's get into it, right? When Suzuki spoke publicly for the first time as the manager, he addressed Trout directly and indirectly the entire team with a clear, strong signal. This is a reset, a fresh start, a new opportunity. The vibe was basically, hey, Mike, I'm here. I've got your back, and we're building this thing together. This wasn't a pressure message. I mean, it wasn't a challenge. I mean, it wasn't even near a demand. It wasn't even that. I mean, it was so friendly. It was reassurance and a tone-setting statement from the manager who understands Trout's importance, understands what he's been carrying, and wants him to feel supported as the franchise transitions into a new identity. So let's take a look at what Suzuki is really saying between the lines. I mean, his message actually hit on several deeper themes. First one is a culture reset that is coming. This is a manager players trust. He's not here to be the enforcer. He's here to be the connector. Secondly, Trout is still the heart of the franchise. No matter what people say about age or injuries, Suzuki made it clear Trout is still central to the Angels' plans. Number 3, it's not Mike's burden alone anymore. Under Nevin, under Madden, under, all of the coaches, Trout often felt like he was the one carrying the emotional weight of the team. So Suzuki's message was, hey, you don't have to do that now. We're doing this together as a team. And fourth, A player's first manager changes the whole dynamic. He's not coming in with ego. Suzuki's coming in with empathy, experience, and real understanding of what players need mentally. I mean, that's the exact type of manager Trout thrives under. So why does this matter for the Angels' future? Because it's just not symbolism. This matters strategically. I mean, Trout has been through losing seasons, injuries, managerial turnover, front office shakeups. I mean, the whole thing. A new manager who genuinely connects with him can anchor the clubhouse in a way that the Angels haven't had in years. And that trickles down to everyone. The young players, the veterans, pitchers, staff, prospects, all of them. A strong clubhouse culture can literally change on-field performance. It reduces panic and it increases confidence. It creates that buy-in. And Suzuki, well, he brings exactly that kind of presence. Now, here's the sneaky important part. Excuse me. We just talked about Vaughn Grissom earlier, right? He's a young player who needs a stable environment, consistent messaging, and a manager who believes in him. Suzuki is tailor-made for players like that. Suzuki's patient. He's communicative. He's been a role player and a star and a backup leader. He understands every role on the roster. Combine Grissom's need for confidence with Suzuki's leadership style. That's a very good match. Now let's talk environment. SoCal baseball is different. It's calmer. It's less media pressure. It's less panic-driven than the East Coast. Suzuki gets this. He grew up in Hawaii, played in Oakland, Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta. He knows how to manage different personalities and environments. And he's going to bring a steady hand, a relaxed energy, and a cultural fluency that fits this roster extremely well. And for Trout specifically, this might be the most important manager he's had in a decade. He finally gets a leader who can relate to him. A leader who isn't trying to fix him. Excuse me. He's a leader that understands what needs to be mentally and emotionally for Trout at this stage of his career. And if Trout feels supported, well, if he feels stabilized, if he feels like the weight is shared again, well, you just might see a different version of Trout, a freer version, a happier version, the version who plays loose, and that version can still absolutely impact a season. So what is our takeaway on this? Well, Kurt Suzuki didn't just say hello to Mike Trout. He set the tone for the entire Angels organization. He signaled unity. He signaled trust. He signaled that the past is the past, and this is a fresh beginning. And for a franchise that has needed a voice like that for a long time, this is exactly the kind of energy that could start shifting things in Anaheim. All right, Angels fans, let me know what you think about the Suzuki hire. Do you like it? Do you think Trout is going to respond to this new leadership? Do you see this helping the Angels clubhouse culture? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear and I want to read what the fan base says on this one and stands on this one. All right, Angels fans, you know what time it is. We've talked trades. We've talked free agents. We've talked front office moves. But now, drum roll, now it's time to hear from the real voices of Angels baseball. That's you, the fans. All right, so because all of you bring the heavy heat every single week, day in and day out, the passion, the frustration, the absolute comedy, the optimism that somehow survives no matter what this team puts us through. It is one of the best parts of doing this program. So let's dive right in. Let's pull up your takes, your questions, your rants, your predictions, and of course, always respectful like buds around the table drinking a cold one. All right, comment number 1 comes from David Chiquiza, 5274. Here's what he had to say. When you say it's been years since the Halos have had a lockdown closer, you're not being fair to Kenley. They don't get more proven than him, and he was very good in the closer role last season. Any number of teams would have been happy to have him as a closer last year. You know what? Totally fair point, my friend. And honestly, I'm really glad you brought it up. Kenley Jansen is one of the most proven closers of his generation. World Series ring, elite culture, elite cutter, decades of ninth inning experiences. And last season, yeah, he was absolutely solid. And plenty of teams would have loved to have gave him locking down games. Now, my point in the show was more about the Angels not having that long-term homegrown, don't even question it, shutdown closer in years. But you are absolutely right that when you look at just last season alone, Kenley delivered. No disrespect meant toward him at all. And I appreciate you calling me out on that, and that's why I love doing this segment. Angels fans keep me honest, and so tip of the hat to Kenley. All right, next comment comes from MVP_G_24, and I've got to say this one made me smile. Here's what they wrote. Love your videos, sweet man. Hey, MVP_G24, totally appreciate you. Thanks for the love. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this Angels Latest community. I mean, we try to keep things fun, honest, passionate, and just a little bit, chaotic, because that's Angels baseball, right? I mean, never really works out the way you wrote it out or planned it, right? But seriously, comments like yours mean the world and keep this show going. And so a big shout out to you and thanks for rocking us every day. All right, next up, we've got a comment from Bean1507, and this one's packed with ideas. So get the seatbelt on, and here's what they wrote. So best case scenario, we trade for Brendan Donovan and Alec Burleson, as well as getting someone like Framber or Ranger Suarez. Also need to get Kenley and Chafin back. I think this is a semi-realistic approach for the Angels. We would probably have to trade Dana along with two other top pitching prospects, maybe Matthew Lugo or Kyan Paris, or in order to get the two from the Cardinals. Okay, Bean1507, I love this because you're basically submitting a full offseason blueprint here. That's on fire, my man. I like it. So Brendan Donovan and Alex Burleson. That's basically the Cardinals punching in the Angels' wish list themselves. Those are two high contact, versatile lefty bats who would fit in Anaheim like a glove. Framber Valdez or Ranger Suarez. Now, that's good dreaming. Those guys instantly stabilize a rotation. Swing games, tone setters, playoff type starters. And then bringing back Kenley Jansen and Andrew Chafin. Now, we're really cooking here. That's also a good point. Look, basically, would it cost prospects? Absolutely. I mean, Caden, Dana, plus other top arms or two? That's probably what it takes to get both Donovan and Burleson out of St. Louis. But here's the thing I love about your comment, my friend. It's ambitious, it's aggressive, it's creative, and honestly, it's the kind of energy Angels fans deserve from their front office. Now, it may not be the most realistic scenario, start to finish, but it definitely shows what a go-for-it offseason would look like in Anaheim. I mean, great comment, Bean1507. Appreciate you putting together a full trade and bullpen plan like a true offseason architect. And absolutely, here is your viewer comments that are amazing for, this show, as it has really brought our, things to life. So, would like to know now more comments on the topics we talked about today. The Vaughn Grissom trade, Tony Gonsolin free agent fit, Kurt Suzuki's message to Mike Trout. I mean, tell me how, you would like to see that. As, that's going to wrap up our, segment for edition today. And really loved, again, the comments as you all bring in the heavy, hits every day, day in and day out. And, what an absolute ride as we covered some of the most massive off-season storylines to date. So again, we kicked off things with Von Grissom, the trade, the analytics, the upside, the fit, the fresh start, the whole picture. I mean, a young infielder with real potential and with a better StatCast profile than his box scores showed. And also a legitimate chance to become one of the sneakiest value pickups the Angels have made in years. And then we dove into Tony Gonsolin, the bio, the arsenal, the injuries, the upside, the contract projections, and why. Angels fans, this is exactly the kind of buy low move you have to consider. And again, he's a SoCal guy, a former All-Star splitter specialist, and a perfect Anaheim fit if the medicals check out. And of course, we hit on, the new skipper, Kurt Suzuki, his message to Mike Trout, the Tony setting, the culture shift he represents, and why this might be one of the most important leadership moves for the Angels in a long time. So again, it's your turn now. I want you to jump in, post your comments. How do you feel about Von Grissom's trade? Should the Angels, take a real swing on Tony Gonsolin? And what's your read on Kurt Suzuki stepping in and resetting the zone in Anaheim? Drop your takes, your questions, your predictions, and we love featuring your comments on the show. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the show. This community keeps growing every single week, every single day with every single show because of your passion, your debates, and your love for Angels baseball. We love showing up, breaking down the chaos, the rumors, the storylines, and keeping the conversation going all off season long. Make sure you don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications so you never miss a new episode. All right, Angels fans, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and thanks for being part of the Angels latest family. And as always, go Halos.